let's look at how you can convert an ordered pair in rectangular form to polar form. So we use this formula. We have to convert rectangular coordinates to polar coordinates, use r squared is equal to x squared plus y squared, and the tangent of theta is equal to y divided by x whenever x is not equal to 0. And I'm also going to throw in there that we have quadrant considerations in here as well. So we have the ordered pair, -1, -1, and we want to take that from rectangular form to polar form. Well, this is xy, and we want to turn this into r and theta. All right, so r squared is equal to x squared plus y squared. -1 squared is 1, plus -1 squared is another 1, so that's 2, which means r is positive or negative square root of 2. All right, we'll hold on to that thought for just a moment. Then we have that the tangent of theta would be equal to y over x. Well, that's 1. So we might think, well, I know the inverse tangent of 1, that's got to be one of my over 4s. That's typically going to be pi over 4 or 5 pi over 4. Now, if you're using your calculator to do that computation, it's only going to give you pi over 4, so keep that in mind. All right, we want to consider the quadrant now. -1, -1, -1, -1 is down here in quadrant 3. So we want to make sure that however we name our angle and our radius, it puts us in quadrant 3. So ordinarily, your first thought would probably be to choose a positive r. It would be mine. It's not necessarily yours, but it would be mine. Well, pi over 4 would have me going into quadrant 1. I need to be going into quadrant 3, so I want to choose 5 pi over 4. Well, let's say that you did yours on your calculator and you only got pi over 4, and just for some reason it has slipped your mind that there were other possibilities. Well, if you realize that's my angle, but it's not going the direction that I need it to go, then just use your negative r value. So negative pi square root of 2 pi over 4 would have us, instead of going towards pi over 4, going the opposite direction, putting us back down in quadrant 3 where we want to be. Or, and then I'm just going to put ... because there could be many other options. Okay, let's take a look at one that is not unit circle in nature, so we'd have to rely on our calculator. So we have r squared is equal to x squared plus y squared. So 36 plus 484 is 520, which means r would be equal to plus or minus 2 times square root of 130. All right, there's r. Now for theta, the tangent of theta is equal to y over x. Okay, notice this time we are asked to be in degrees, so please make sure that your calculator is in degree mode. This is not a unit circle value, so we will, on our calculator, do the inverse tangent of -22 over 6. And when we do, we get -74.7 degrees. All right, so let's think about 6 and -22. 6, -22 puts me down here in quadrant 4. I want to think about my angle, -74.7 degrees. That's in quadrant 4. So I want to go toward that angle. I will choose my positive r value. 2 square root of 130 -74.7 0.7 degrees. Or many other options. You might want to think back to how we renamed these polar coordinates previously.